it's bright, come take a seat on the beam. We gather where laughter meets. Every Tuesday's a trip, come share your flair. In this warm embrace, there's love everywhere. Talk it out, all vibes alright. Nobody's wrong in our light tonight. So join us in this cozy space. We're talking it out, with love we embrace. No topics too bold, no dreams out of reach. Together we rise, that's the joy that we teach. From stories of pride to journeys of heart, we celebrate life, each unique part. A safe haven here, where spirits soar free. Together we rise, that's the joy that we teach. Let the colors shine bright in the warmth of the night. So join us in this cozy space. We're talking it out, with love we embrace. No topics too bold, no dreams out of reach. Together we rise, that's the joy that we teach. Let the colors shine bright in the warmth of the night. So join us in this cozy space. We're talking it out, with love we embrace. No topics too bold, no dreams out of reach. Together we rise, that's the joy that we teach. With each word we share, we bring the light. Join the talk show, let your heart take flight.
Hey guys, it's SayCo Alford from the SayCo Show. I hope you're doing great. Gosh, where do I start? My father passed away, and it has been a extremely sad, uncomfortable situation for a number of reasons. But there's no show tonight, and so I wanted to make sure that I recorded something because I know, because of the numbers on my social media, I know everyone that listens to me on the podcast show doesn't actually know a lot of what's going on my personal life, because my numbers are really, really low on my social media. So I thought, instead of just disappearing for a little bit, I would make sure that I record something so you all have something for Tuesday night at 7, where we discuss all things queer, my life, my job, etc., etc. So my dad has been on again, off again, sick with his struggles through life, especially the last couple years. And he was diagnosed with some issues, as well as prostate cancer, etc. And we all thought that he was doing, great. He seemed to be taking his medication most of the time. And for an older man, when you catch prostate cancer super early, you probably won't die of prostate cancer. You'll die of something else. And that's the case for my dad, which I called him Pop. He had some issues with his liver, which caused issues with his kidneys. And then once his kidneys shut down, they got pretty scared. He was acting confused. Something was definitely wrong. He had chest pains. So they opted to take him to downtown, to the hospital in the city he lives at. And that's where he went really quickly downhill. They ran a bunch of tests, and they realized that he was much sicker than they originally thought. And so once his organs started shutting down, the decision was made to let him go home and be home for his final hours. One of the doctors actually said that he only had like 1 to 3 days to live. And it was about a day and a half, and he was gone. So although we knew he was ill and was having some challenges in life, we just did not think it was going to be so quick. He's only 71, and all of my family on both sides of my family, they all live to be late 90s, and on my dad's family side, they all live to be in their 90s, 102, 102, 103. So it's a great shock. It feels like he left early, and it's an absolute shame. And I've spoken about the situation with my father and my family in several episodes. So if you want to go back and listen, I originally thought that the man that I thought was my father was tragically killed, got hit by a truck on a busy road, and so I thought that was my father, and I was kind of led to believe that that was my father, and I decided to do 23andMe just because I wanted to see if the heritage I was told was correct. And when it came back, it flagged me that I had a half-sister. So I reached out to the half-sister and her family and realized that I have a half-brother, and my dad, true birth father, was alive and well at the time. And so this all went down a few years ago, and it's been a crazy, fun, exciting, strange ride the whole time. But yeah, I've spoken in length about it in previous episodes on Podbean and whatnot. So go and check that out. I know that I preface Podbean a lot, and let me tell you why. After I left the radio station, I started exclusively on Podbean to continue my talk show. And just recently, I've branched out to other areas. So if you're listening to this podcast not on Podbean, I just want to let you know that there's hours and hours of content over on Podbean. And you don't have to join or download the app. You can just go to podbean.com, search for the SayCo Show, and listen to hours and hours of shows over there. But to get back on topic, my father, I guess, had an inkling that he was ill and possibly will pass. And so he was in the works of trying to make a will last week, called me to try to get some of my information. There's a lot of things that I just won't discuss on the show, including his girlfriend and whatnot. But I will say this, it's a mess. And it always will be a mess if you do not have a trust. I'm not just talking a living will or a will that's on a tape recorder or something you jotted down and kept in your safe. I'm talking a trust. That's what you need, because otherwise everything is going to be fought over and go to probate court. And that takes years, and the state will take most of it. So I implore you, I'm going through it right now with my extended family. Please have a notarized will through a lawyer, and please consider getting a trust, because a will still most undoubtedly go into probate court. So you've got to have a trust so nothing is locked up for years, funds, property, etc. Back to my pop. So Pop had some issues with his liver. We all knew it. And his problems with his liver actually made him very sick. And that's what caused his kidneys to shut down. And once your kidneys shut down, then all your other organs want to shut down as well. So his liver shut down, and it just kind of went downhill very, very quickly. I don't know what it is about July. July has always been a busy month. I said it in the last show. With 4th of July and my birthday and other close people in my family's birthday, including friends and chosen family. And then also recertifying with my job through the FAA so I can stay a flight attendant for 12 more months, et cetera, et cetera. It's always been a very busy month for me. And now it turned into that, with my dad being in the hospital far away on the other side of the country, and now passing away Saturday night. My greatest fear is that I would not be there, and I wasn't. And I wrote a letter. They read it to him in his ear, and he seemed to be somewhat in his right mind to understand that they were reading a letter from me. And before we knew it, he was sedated and on hospice and gone. So I wanted to make sure I let you guys know what's going on this end. I don't know when the next episode will be. I kind of had already told y'all that I'm really busy with online exams, recertifying for my job, etc., etc. And so this is kind of a yearly thing that I go through. And although it's basically the same information on how to evacuate a plane, blah, 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 equipment, etc., I do have to recertify once a year. And so that's what I'm in the process of. I'm in the process of helping the family navigate the constraints of not having a will, funeral home, funeral arrangements, etc. And then I got to go back to my exams because I need to complete all of those, getting an A on all of it before I show in person for the drills and the equipment and the evacuations, etc. But it's been a very bumpy road. Lots of extra factors that are in the situation that makes me very uncomfortable about the whole thing. But the main thing that I'm trying to focus on is just honoring my dad. I had him in my life when I realized that he was my father and everything I had been told was a fib for reasons that are beyond my control or my understanding. But I had my pop in my life for about 6.5, 7 years now, and it's just been a very interesting relationship. But yet he was so open-minded to having a very gay son. Y'all know that I've got a bucket of glitter with me at all times. And and he's kind of like a manly man. He's a tough old bird. So he was in the army and in a motorcycle gang troop and always had a lot of women in his life. Loved to drink and have a good time, lots of barbecuing, lots of hosting parties and gatherings at his home. And it was just a really tough, take the shirt off his back type of man. And I'm glad that I got to meet him. It's a weird chance that you get to get the truth handed to you. And then you got to sift through what they hand to you on both sides and make the truth in the middle. And it's been a very interesting situation, but I will say this. I have met my father, and I knew him for a few years now. And we've had a great conversation going back and forth with check-ins on the phone. And I have spoken to him several times this month, so that makes me feel good. Even though they're always short voicemails or short calls, we always checked in with one another. And I know that my dad was a Christian, a Catholic, and believed in God, and that gives me solace and peace that he is now with his maker, and he's on the other side. I always say now he knows the secret. Now my pop knows the secret of what part 2 is. And I firmly believe that I will see him again in some form or way when I pass. And that also comforts my heart right now. Those of you that are non-believers, I hope you send good juju, good waves of energy towards me and my family. And those of you that are believers, I hope that you pray for me and my family because we are going through a lot, as well as no will. One of his girlfriends are involved in things, and it's a big hairy mess. But all I know for certain is that my dad is at peace now. He's healed and whole. He's not battling things that has been a crutch for him through his life, and also he is happier and at peace now. And that's what I choose to believe, and that's what I have to believe, or I'd lose what little mind I have. He was a very kind man. He appreciated everything that I ever said to him. He gave me unconditional love, which is extremely rare on this planet and also in my family. So, unconditional love is just wonderful, especially when you show up and he's thinking, oh, wow, he was my son and now we know the truth. But on top of it, I show up with all my femininity and and my gayness as a proud gay human. And I firmly believe God sent me this way. I believe I'm gay on this earth because it's a gift from God, and that's how I choose to live my life. I hate to get too political or religious on the show, but this is who I am, and it's your show and you're the listeners and you should have the truth no matter how tough the topic is. And so I always just try to tell y'all the truth, and that's the truth. He just did not judge, loved me to pieces, and that is comforting. Also, even though his crutch and illness caught up to him quickly, we all knew that he was probably drinking too much, etc., etc., but we knew about the prostate cancer. We didn't know about everything. He kept a lot of stuff from us, so did his girlfriend. But what we do know is this. Between not feeling good at home, going to the hospital for a couple days, coming home to pass, it was all pretty quick. It was all compact into, a week or so. So if you have to go, that's the greatest way to go, right? Unless it's instantly. It was a very quick thing. He didn't seem to suffer too much at the end. And so I'm quite happy that I was able to have a relationship with him, even though far away. He's on another part of the country, and we both had our very different, separate lives, and we respected that. And I just thought there'd be more time. I always thought that, there's a line in a Tanya Tucker song that says, you think you have the time until you don't. Well, I don't have that time anymore. So those of you that have good people in your life, chosen family, whether they're blood or not, I implore you today to reach out and call them or hug on them or do something, because tomorrow is not promised. When I dealt with my testicular cancer about 3.5 years ago, I really thought that was my exit, and I kind of came to terms with a lot of things. But I'll tell you all this. If you love someone, tell them that you love them, and make sure that you reach out often and let them know that, because there's going to be a day that you can't pick up the call and talk to them or see them. And my day came Saturday night with my pop, and even though I know he's in a better place now, it's really hard to imagine that all the things that we had planned are now null and void, and all the ideas I had about conversations or milestones or plans or trips or anything like that are now gone. They're gone forever in this life, but perhaps in eternity we will have some sort of different mode of connection, and I hope that will be. I always pictured my dad coming to my home and barbecuing and having a great time here, and it didn't happen. And I'm going to miss his phone calls. I'd be up in an airplane somewhere. I'd land in Puerto Rico or something, and my phone would say, "You've got voicemail." And I'd open it up, and it was just maybe 4 words. It was, "Hey, son, this is Pop. Call me back. Wanted to give you a holler." I mean, it was just very short little voicemails. And thank God I have them all saved now, and I'll have his voice with me forever. It's an extremely weird sensation. Those of you that have lost someone close to you or your parent, I get it now. It's a very weird, odd feeling. Suddenly I feel like I'm the next one, the next generation to go. You grow up with grandparents and parents, and you feel like you're generational years away from leaving this planet. And suddenly I feel like I'm kind of like the next one in line now. Not that I want to go anytime soon. I'm ready to go whenever, but it kind of feels like I'm at that age that I'm on the top tier to leave, and that kind of feels strange. He was a tough old bird that loved hard, and always showed me such great unconditional love and acceptance for exactly who and what I am, and that made me happy. He also reached out wonderfully all the time to my spouse and said the same thing, that he loved him, etc., etc. So all these things that are now coming to mind once you start grieving. I guess I've been in a little bit of shock since Saturday night, but I'm sure once all this dust settles and he's chosen to be cremated, etc., I will be able to process this better and maybe perhaps put it in words better to share on the show. I'm an open book, and this show allows me to vent and show myself in different light. And this time, this show, it's about turning within and trying to figure out the roller coaster of emotions and how I'm going to grieve in the moment. And it's been changing. So I ask you to please give me some prayers and good thoughts my way for not only me, but my extended family. My pop had a lot of siblings, and I believe it was 13 total. And so there's a big, huge family right now that is mourning him and remembering and honoring him. And right now, I think I was told that there's only one crematorium functioning in his city, and so the wait will be long. So I believe we'll probably get his ashes anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, hopefully not longer than that. And then we're going to start planning the funeral and the celebration of life, etc., etc. There will even be a barbecue for family because that was his favorite thing to do. Typical dad, right? Just loves to be outside cooking steaks and watching his favorite people eat them. That was his favorite thing to do. I'm trying to think what else to share. He was a really funny guy. He'd give anything to you. He'd give his shirt right off his back to you. He believed in helping others and quite supportive to me and my life, etc. And he was just a good guy. So this show is dedicated to my father. And he was in the service. He was in the Army for about 6 years as a helicopter medic. And had a very big family. And although there were peaks and valleys like anybody else in his life, I believe that he did his best to pursue happiness and contentment. And he certainly taught me that in the small amount of time that I was around him or knew him. And that's what I'll take with me. So I ask you to give me some grace, guys. I need to get through some things. And I will be back in August where we can discuss all things queer like we always do on this wonderful platform. And I so appreciate your support. And I'm going to leave it at that. Go out, buckle up, be safe. Come back and see us again here on the SayCo Show podcast. I'll talk to you later.